They're about ready to get going at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Western Kentucky and Tennessee. Dave Neal and Andre Ware with the call. Enjoy.
Thank you, Dari. We are at the foothills of the Smokies on the banks of the Tennessee River, where they run through the tee here at Neyland Stadium. It's Tennessee and Western Kentucky as the Volunteers and the Hilltoppers both opened up the season last week with victories. The Hilltoppers on the road against Kentucky and Tennessee here at home against Austin Peay. And a pleasant good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dave Neal. You might know this guy, my partner Andre Ware. And Andre, interesting matchup today. Certainly we think we have a pretty good football game on our hands today, but also interesting in the aspect that we have two coaches in their first years at these programs. And let's start with this Tennessee team, because when we got to town, there is a buzz about Volunteer football that we haven't felt in quite a while. What is it about Butch Jones that makes you believe that this program is only a step or two away from probably getting back into the national scene?
Not only myself, but the Tennessee loyal fans here as well believe it. He's won everywhere he's gone, Dave. The guy, when he was at Central Michigan, he won there. When he went to Cincinnati, they won there. He comes here under a little bit different process, though, because it is a program where the foundation has been torn apart. Tennessee hadn't won in a while, but what gives you hope is a big offensive line. That's a good start to the building this thing from the foundation up, brick by brick. Big guys up front that can take over a football game, and they paved the way last week against Austin Peay.
Every coach will tell you, you got to have the big boys up front. Now, Western Kentucky, let's face it, the Hilltoppers, they moved to Division I a couple of years ago. They're still finding their way. But you know what? They've got a leader that is multi-respected around the country as one of the best coordinators offensively around. And Bobby Petrino has this program and those fans believing as well.
Yeah, I think there's reason to believe when you look at Bobby Petrino. I think he's one of the best play callers in all of college football. Schematically, he's sound. He knows how to coach quarterbacks. Brandon Doughty is as fundamentally sound as you get. Didn't make a mistake last week. Completed about 80% of his passes. He is a guy that can win. He's got a winning background. He's got talent around him as well, and it starts in the backfield with Antonio Andrews. A lot of people don't know about this kid, but he's one of the best running backs in the country. Over 1,700 yards on the ground. Led the FBS in all-purpose yards with over 3,100 a year ago.
Make no mistake, Tennessee, a favorite in this game, will have their hands full. Let's go downstairs, check in with Kara. Has more on how Tennessee is getting ready for not just this game, but the season as well. Hey, Kara.
Hey, Dave. Butch Jones is full of new team themes and mottos, and the one in the spotlight this week is 63. 63 means that every 6 seconds, the average length of a football play, he wants to see each player give 3 great efforts. Starting with this game, they can earn a special helmet sticker that says 63 on it. He placed over 100 small stickers around the football facility this week, and at Wednesday's practice, he put his big defensive tackle in a number 63 jersey. Dan McCullers at 6'8" and 350 pounds, a larger-than-life example of the Volunteers' goal to strain and sustain on every snap in a football game.
Yeah, Dave, they're going to have it from Daniel McCullers. If they're going to stop the run, it starts with the big fella up front, because Antonio Andrews is going to bring it all day long.
Well, Andre, Western Kentucky won the toss. They accept and will receive the football to open this game up. This is the second meeting between these two teams. You and I were here back in 2009 when Lane Kiffin in his first game opened up against the Hilltoppers. The Vols won that one 63-7, but boy, how things have changed. Michael Pilardi kicks it away. He'll sail down to Andrews into the checkerboard, and he will take it in, and the Hilltoppers out to the 20-yard line. Well, the man in charge of this offense, the junior out of Davie, Florida, Brandon Doughty. What an effort in week 1, completing 79% of his passes, 271 yards, no picks, and a touchdown. Bobby Petrino couldn't say much more glowing things about his quarterback.
Just basically a flawless performance. He makes good decisions. He gets the ball out on time. He reads defenses. And what I like most is when you're in zone coverage, he moves defenders to get receivers open. And he'll do that against Tennessee because he's so fundamentally sound.
Dowdy will hand it off to Andrews, trying to get the left side. He's pushed out of bounds. Maybe a loss of a yard by Dontavius Sapp, that senior outside backer. 6'2", 225 out of Valdosta, Georgia. Tennessee might see number 56 back on the field, one of their best linebackers, best players, best leaders in Kurt Magid, who's been bothered, been out for a while now after a season-ending ACL injury last year. He practiced this week. Coaches said 50-50 whether or not 56 will be on the field. Handoff goes to Keyshawn Simpson. He will take it out over the 30. A gain of, let's give him 7.5 as we take a look at our impact players.
Yeah, for offensively, it's a double-headed monster. You saw Keyshawn Simpson there, but Leon Allen is a nice compliment to Antonio Andrews, who will carry the football all game long. We talked about Big Daniel McCullers in the middle, and then A.J. Johnson, who led the SEC in tackles last year with 138. That's about 11.5 tackles a game. He's the playmaker for Tennessee's defense.
Well, here's where Bobby Petrino really hopes his team can get it together. They were 2 of 12 on third downs last week. Pass caught by the tight end to the 37, out to maybe the 39-yard line. Tim Gorski, the sophomore out of Chicago, will pick up 7.
Well, you look at the quarterback and watch Brandon Dowdy. He didn't panic. First option's not open. You see him check the back in the backfield, the third, and then Gorski is the 4th receiver in the progression. And you see the pressure as well. Just cool. Staying in the pocket where you know you're protected and throwing a nice completion to your tight end to move the football.
So first down and 10. Dowdy dumps it off underneath. That is the pass.
Well, that's an excellent open field tackle.
Taywan Taylor hit by A.J. Johnson. That's what Kentucky gave him all week last week.
I'll tell you what, Johnson looks a little smaller and a little quicker this year. Doesn't look quite as bulky, and I think it's allowing him to play a little faster. 3-season, first-team All-SEC. And rightfully so. When you lead the conference, this conference in tackles, I think you're on pace to be a pretty good player.
4th in the country last year in stops with those 138 total tackles. Second down, and let's call it 9. Nice play fake. Dump it off to the big fella. Kadeem Jones out of the backfield, the fullback. Close to 250 pounds. He's a senior, also out of the Sunshine State. He picks up 9.
Yeah, he's the more athletic of the fullbacks that we'll see for Western Kentucky here. Good hands. Nice job by Dowdy as well. The first color of your own when you run that type of play action and boot from it. You just give the football, and Kadeem Jones turns it up the field, picks up the first down. It's a nice drive for Western Kentucky. Not doing a whole lot on the ground, Dave, but it's just enough to keep Tennessee honest.
So first down and 10. Hilltoppers closing in on midfield. Nothing there. The big orange front 4. Loss of 3 for Antonio Andrews. Maurice Couch, the senior D-tackle out of Orlando, Florida, with his first stop.
Yeah, he was second among the defensive linemen in tackles a year ago, but excellent penetration up front. And you're talking about doing that against a good offensive line of Western Kentucky.
Western Kentucky rushed for 216 yards last week. They threw for 271. Outstanding balance. 487 yards of total offense on the road in Lexington.
About as balanced as you can get.
4-man pressure. Dowdy over the middle. A collision, and it's incomplete. Down at the 35-yard line. Willie McNeil was the intended target, hit by the 2 safeties, Ladero McNeil and Brian Randolph.
Yeah, McNeil really came in his own about the second half of last season, and Randolph is the leader on the back end. And this is basically the first throw that I saw Dowdy really force in there between 2 defenders. Watching the entire film of last week's game, and then having him come out today in the first couple of throws. That's the first one where he's actually forced a ball into coverage.
3rd and 13. Wide open at the 40. First down, Western Kentucky. It's Willie McNeil who just took the shot a moment ago, and he picks up 20.
Well, I tell you what, right in the middle of the field, they'd go two deep zone, and the safeties kind of widen out. Watch the safeties on the outside out here. They widen out, and it's going to leave that open area for the slot receiver in the middle of the field. Dowdy, I told you, he's excellent at watching and reacting to coverage, reading it out, and delivers the football on time. 3rd and 13, they pick up a first down.
Oh, this was a team that was just 2 of 12 on 3rd downs last week. Dowdy, 4 out of 5, 38 yards. Leon Allen in at tailback now for the Hilltoppers. Toss sweep near side. Allen stood up at his tracks. Might have gotten a yard before Dontavius Sapp picked up his 3rd tackle here in the opening drive. Wait. Today's 1st and 10 line is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers, where we talk about Dontavius Sapp, and coaches say he has become a real leader on this football field. And they've said they were talking about their linebacking core kind of molding into a pretty good unit.
Yeah, he's a former defensive back that moved to outside linebacker prior to the 2011 season. So, you know, he's got good quickness, 6'2", just under 230 pounds. He can run, and he tackles well in space.
10th play of the drive. To the wide side of the field. It's Willie McNeil again. Spins out of trouble. He's inside the 20. Down to the 16-yard line. Give him 17 more yards. What an efficient drive here by the Hilltoppers.
I'll tell you what, Dowdy is excellent again at reading coverage. Watch the eyes. Stays in the middle of the field knowing that he's going to throw the hitch route outside, not giving away where he's going with the football. It keeps the defense honest. Watch the eyes. He just takes a peek in the middle, and then the ball all in one motion goes outside to McNeil. You can't get out there fast enough to get to the hitch route.
Dowdy batted in the air and caught by one of the big fellas up front.
Boy, it always makes you nervous when they do that. Just bat it down. You're not going anywhere, big guy.
Cam Clemens at left tackle with the reception.
He goes reading it from left to right. Finally finds his check down on the outside, and he gets batted up in the air by Brent Brewer, another former defensive back that's moved to outside linebacker, the Sam position. And a nice job. Just bat that one down if you're Clemens, because you're not going anywhere as a big fella.
Loses another 2, maybe 3 yards. A.J. Johnson, the middle backer, comes flying in for that tackle behind the line.
I'll tell you what, they are flying around Johnson right in the middle of the screen right here. Watch him get to the football, just reading his keys, and that allows you to play fast and downhill, and gets under the block of Tyler Higbee, the tight end, in order to make the stop. But I'm impressed with Tennessee's defense. They can get themselves off the field on 3rd down. That's where the problem has been. But last year, this was the Achilles heel of this football team. I mean, it was one of those where you could go up and down the field against Tennessee's defense. Offensively, they could score points. They couldn't stop anybody.
Spins out of trouble. Incomplete. Willie McNeil tried to make the play on the near sideline. Jordan Williams missed the opportunity for the sack.
We'll watch here, a nice little inside move, sets him up outside and then comes underneath. And Jordan Williams actually should have had a sack there on Dowdy. But then smart with the football. Don't force it. It's thrown outside where you give your receiver and only your receiver a chance to catch it. Otherwise, it's incomplete, and you save a chance for a field goal attempt.
Garrett Sweatman did not attempt a field goal in the opener. This from 38 yards. And he will put it through the uprights. So the Hilltoppers, with the opening possession of the game, put 3 on the board, and they lead Tennessee here in Knoxville. Back in a moment. Western Kentucky goes 14 plays, 55 yards, over 7 minutes off the clock, and they get a field goal, 37-yarder, and they lead 3-0. Well, planning for success is brought to you by Northwestern Mutual, the official corporate partner of the NCAA. And Andre, here is your plan for success today.
Yeah, it's easy for me offensively. Convert on third downs, which they did on that drive in order to pick up the field goal. And they can't give up big plays defensively, Western Kentucky. Offensively for Tennessee, they've got to protect the football. They were turnover-free and penalty-free in the opener against Austin Peay. And defensively, they've got to make Dowdy uncomfortable, which they were able to do late in that first drive.
Tighten the chin straps late in that drive. Western Kentucky converted a couple of early third downs, third and long. 3rd and 13. They picked up 17 yards. So now we are about to see Tennessee's offense for the first time today. Vincent Dallas will return this kick. And Vincent bounces off a couple of Hilltoppers out over the 35 to the 36. And Vincent taking over that job returning kicks from Devrin Young, who broke his hand this week in practice. He'll be out 4 to 6 weeks. A big blow for Tennessee not to have Devrin, but Vincent Dallas doing his job. Well, this Tennessee offense led by Justin Worley, the 6'4" junior out of Rock Hill, South Carolina. 11 of 13, 104 yards and 1/2 of football last week. What do you make of Justin?
Well, I like him because he throws the ball with touch. He's a mobile quarterback, and then when you need him to knife one into a defense, he's got the arm strength to do that for you as well.
That handoff goes to Rajon Neal out over the 40. He'll pick up 5. Xavius Boyd, the outside backer out of St. Petersburg, Florida, in on that tackle. Now, remember, offensively for Tennessee last week against Austin Peay, they scored on their first 6 possessions of the game and basically sat the starters for a half. In that 45-0 win. Big hole off the left side, and Rajon Neal will be close to the first down.
Yeah, we talked to Butch Jones about Rajon Neal as well as Marlon Lane, and they're still looking for a back that will just hit it inside. Take the 4-yard gains, a bunch of those, and stop looking to bounce everything and hit home runs. And we got better at that last week. It was against Austin Peay, a little bit better competition this week with Western Kentucky.
The first down and 10 after a couple of runs for the Volunteers. Tennessee racked up 315 yards on the ground last week. Rajon Neal had 141 of those, only playing the first half. This time, Rajon will get a couple before he is thrown to the turf. As we take a look at our impact players on this side of the ball.
Yeah, for defensively for Western Kentucky, Andrew Jackson is a grown man in the middle of their defense, and Jonathan Dowling is a safety that'll fill the alley, and he shows up in an ugly way. Rajon Neal is their primary ball carrier, 100 yards in the first quarter of last week's ball game.
Little play fake. Worley to throw down the field, batted in the air, and it's incomplete.
You know, last week, Dave, they bailed Justin Worley out of a lot of situations, underthrown balls where receivers would have to stop or maybe climb the ladder a little bit and make some big-time catches. So he's going to have to do a better job of throwing the football under duress, because at some point Western Kentucky's going to dial up some pressure and bring it, and it may be right here on third down.
Nearly picked off. Worley threw behind his receiver. He was looking for Josh Smith, the true freshman from right here in Knoxville. Cam Thomas on the coverage.
Yeah, area outside receivers, defenders who you're reading, and he gets a flash of a different color in his face, throws the ball way behind Josh Smith, and Cam Thomas almost comes up with a big-time interception that would have provided some excellent field position for Western Kentucky.
Michael Pilardi, the left footer, will kick it away for Tennessee. This will hit down about the 8-yard line and will settle in nicely at the 1. A 50-yard punt from Pilardi executed perfectly. Justin Coleman will down it for Tennessee. Good special teams work by Tennessee. Now they'll need the defense to step up. They were on the field for a 7-minute drive just a moment ago. Good look at Neyland Stadium, where Western Kentucky leads 3-0 here in the opening quarter. Make sure you join us at halftime as we'll announce this week's winner of the Honda Generators Tailgate Giveaway. Each week we'll be awarding a brand new Honda EU 2000i generator to the fan with the best tailgate. Simply send us video or pictures showing off your tailgate for your chance to win. Log on to ESPNEvents.com for more entry details. Well, Andre, you're backed up at the one. You just had a good drive. If you're Coach Petrino, what do you do here?
If I'm a quarterback or a coach here, I just take a shot. Line up outside, try to formation the one-on-one, and then take a shot. Two things could happen. A big completion, maybe offensive or defensive pass interference.
Well, he's going to throw out of the end zone. And Dowdy's pass is off the hands of Willie McNeil.
Well, if you're McNeil, you got to catch that football. A lot of receivers run routes not thinking the quarterback's coming to you. You have to always think that you're involved in the pass pattern. Just didn't get out of that break sharp enough for Brendan Dowdy. Now is when you come back, Dave. Second down, you run the football here.
Couple of tight ends in the game for Western Kentucky out of the I formation. He will hand it off to Andrews. Andrews drives his way out over the 10. First down line is right at the 12. Give him 8.5 on the play. A.J. Johnson drags him down.
Well, take a look from the quarterback and Andrews here. Nice job by the fullback kicking out. Jones opening up a nice hole for Antonio Andrews, and you start to see why I rave about this guy, and I think he's one of the special players in the country. And Antonio Andrews, he doesn't shy away from contact. He's a shifty runner to go along with it.
Third down and a yard. We'll stretch it to the left side. Andrews with a first down out at the 18-yard line. Give him 8 hard-earned yards. First down, Western Kentucky.
I'll tell you what, and Brian Randolph came up and made the stop, but he felt the blow of this one. Right here, Andrews pad level downhill, and he delivers the boom on the strong safety, Brian Randolph. Watch the contact at the end of this. He's the guy initiating the pain.
Andrews, the nation's leading returning rusher. Had 3 200-yard games last year, 10 100-yard games. Near side pass, batted in the air, now be picked off. Justin Coleman to the end zone. Touchdown, Tennessee.
Well, it hit Taywan Taylor right in the face. No excuse to miss this one. The only thing I can think is he's thinking about running before making a nice secure grab, and it bounces in the air to Justin Coleman, who takes it to the house for 6 points and a Tennessee lead.
Polardi will attempt the point after. It is good. A 23-yard interception return for a touchdown. It's the old-fashioned pick six, and Tennessee leads it 7-3. Tennessee strikes after an interception return for a touchdown to take a 7-3 lead. 4:24 to go in the first quarter. And Andre, I got to think if I'm a quarterback, I'm a little frustrated.
No, there's nothing more irritating for a quarterback than when you hit a guy right between the numbers or right in stride, timing-wise. It's all there, and it bounces up and it gets picked off, and it just kind of adds to it when it's a pick six.
Well, Polardi will send it down. Antonio Andrews will bring it out. Andrews out to the 30-yard line. Well, let's go back and take a look at the pick six by Justin Coleman.
Yeah, you got what you want. They're actually going to run a hitch route to the outside. Look at the cushion here on the outside that Coleman's given up. And you see the throwing lane right there. Nice throwing lane. Everything is set up. When Dowdy puts the ball right on the freshman, Taywan Taylor. I'll tell you what, Coleman does a nice job of staying there. Taylor looks as though he's trying to run before he secures the catch, and he pays for it. I'd go right back to him, though, if I'm Dowdy, if I'm Bobby Petrino. get him right back involved in the game because you've got to pick him up somehow.
Simpson in at tailback. He will get the handoff, and he'll run right into that defensive front from Tennessee.
Yeah, I think throwing hitch routes is a lost art in college football or football across the board. It's a gimme. You get an off coverage like that, they're asking you or daring you to throw it. And the way Dowdy keeps his eyes down the field initially, the pre-snap, and then once he gets the snap, he does an excellent job of that, of keeping defenders off receivers, and then he hits them right on time. That ball was perfectly thrown to Taylor.
Well, next week we'll get a look at Brad Bielema's Arkansas Razorbacks, who put on a pretty good show in their opening game. That'll be next week from Fayetteville. Out of the shotgun, Dowdy to the far side. That's picked off. That will be an easy return for a touchdown. The freshman Cameron Sutton steps in front of the pass, and Tennessee's out in front 13-3.
Boy, he broke on that football big time. And that's a tough one. When you don't have a super strong arm and you're going from the far hash to throw a hitch all the way across the field, that ball stays in the air a long time, and it gave Sutton an opportunity to break on it and take it to the house. Now they are set up for a lot of pump and goes, and they can get back in this one quick.
Point after is up and good.
Yeah, when you're jumping the football the way Tennessee is, you're set up for a pump and go, and I wouldn't be surprised if Bobby Petrino doesn't come back to this. Sutton's right here, and he just doesn't backpedal much. He is waiting on it because it's a long throw for the quarterback. He's sitting out there and just jumps it when he knows, and that's why when you watch film study, and that tells me that Cam Sutton watches some film because he knows the arm strength or the limitations of Brandon Dowdy. So you're going to throw the hitch route way across the field. I don't have to backpedal much because I don't think you're throwing it. And if you do throw it, I'm sitting in great position to pick it off and take it to the house.
Well, we talked to Willie Martinez, the defensive backs coach, before the game today, specifically about Cam Sutton, and said, what do you like about the freshman? The first thing he said is, he goes, well, he's going to be picked on. He's a true freshman in our secondary that got lit up a year ago, so they're going to work on him. But what I love about him, he was a three-sport star in high school. He was the best football, the best basketball, the best baseball, and he always won. And I want those kids around me, guys that are always playing at a high, high level, and that's Cam Sutton.
When you have a pick six like that, they don't pick on you much. They'll leave him alone.
So Pilardi will kick it off for the third time here in the first quarter. That's down to the 2. Andrews bringing it out, stood up, and bounces off to the 29-yard line. So now you ask the question, a great start last week for Dowdy in this offense. They were so efficient. He completed 79% of his passes. Now you have back-to-back picks. What's going through his mind? What's the message from Bobby Petrino right now?
The message to his quarterback right now is, hey, take care of the football. But you've thrown 2 pick sixes. Now I'm going to give him something to build his confidence. Some easy throws, maybe a check down over the middle against zone coverage. Something where he can get the football out faster and build his confidence going forward in this game.
Out of the pistol formation, they'll hand it off to Simpson. And Tennessee is flying around to the football. Is that a turnover? Is the ball loose?
They did. It came out.
Oh, my goodness. It is all going wrong now for the Hilltoppers.
Well, and I think that's one of the downfalls of playing multiple running backs. You got one of the best in the business in Andrews. Allen is the big guy, and then all of a sudden you come back with Simpson, who's been ice cold sitting on the bench for a while since his first carry early, and then Dontavius Sapp is the guy that reaches in, snatches it out, and then comes up with a fumble recovery. Now, if I'm Butch Jones, I'm going right at you. I'm going right to the end zone right here. Big shift in momentum.
Marlon Lane in at running back to the left of Worley, who will throw. Underthrown. Worley had some, what are you going to say? It was batted in the air and caught. I believe they are.
Yeah, North did come up with the football.
Wow, what a catch for the freshman, Marquez North. It looked like that ball was going to hit the turf. They're going to give him the catch.
Yeah, Worley was under pressure, but North waited on it. He actually slipped coming back to it, and just the concentration. Hands are under it, hits his foot, then he just kind of rolls over on the football. I think it's a catch. Wasn't pretty. But right there, the hands go under it, hits his leg, then he reaches, drags it in. That's a catch. What excellent concentration on the part of a true freshman. And I'm watching him down on the field during warm-ups. Grown man. He is 6'4" and every bit of 215 pounds, and body-wise looks just like Cordero Patterson.
That is one heck of a catch.
I don't know if he's the playmaker Cordero Patterson was, but he certainly looks the part. Boy, this is an excellent job of concentration. The hands are under the football, which bounces it up. It's going to hit his leg. Then he reaches and just pulls it in. That's a catch. And I'm telling you, Butch Jones decided, I'm going right at him. Big turnover, big shift in momentum. You catch them while they're down. Third turnover in consecutive plays. Defense is back on the field. They're tired. Take a shot.
Well, I will say this, that had that ball been thrown, well, you couldn't hear Matt Austin, but he says it was a reception, first down Tennessee. But if that ball's thrown with a little bit more zip on it,
It's
that's
touchdown. He walks in.
Yeah.
But he was under pressure and was lucky to get the football off.
So first and goal. Ball sits around the 8-yard line.
Well, you got what you want up top. Press coverage.
Marlon Lane down to the 6-yard line. Give him 2.5 on that carry.
I'll tell you what, if you're a Tennessee fan, you have to be excited about what they are doing defensively. For the last 4 years, it's just teams been able to pretty much do what they wanted to against this volunteer defense. And now they are flying around, creating turnovers.
Tennessee had a late substitution come on the field, so the game held up, trying to get Western Kentucky an opportunity to substitute. Lane almost broke that, but Xavier Boyd comes in to make the stop, a loss of 1.
When you talk about if you're able to hold to a field goal here, if you're Western Kentucky, after all that's happened, that's huge. That would be huge for Bobby Petrino.
Third down and goal now. Over the middle, incomplete. No flags on the play.
Well, they go man-to-man across the board and decide to bring some pressure on Justin Worley. And they get there and do exactly as I thought, hold and force the field goal attempt. So that's a small win after 3 consecutive turnovers by the Western Kentucky offense.
23-yard field goal attempt from Michael Pilardi. And he will knock it through the uprights. It is now 17-3. The story so far in quarter number 1, 3 turnovers, 2 picks, and a fumble.
Boy, this one I don't put on Brandon Dowdy. That one's on Tywan Taylor, the freshman wide receiver. This one I do put on him because he eyed it, looked out there early. It's a long throw, and Cam Sutton jumped it. And all of a sudden, Keyshawn Simpson comes in. He puts the ball on the ground. Tennessee is at point-blank range, and they're able to come out with just a field goal, a small win, I'm thinking, for Western Kentucky.
Well, the last time Tennessee had a game with 2 pick sixes was back in 2010 against Ole Miss.
They had one last year. Byron Moore had a pick 6 against Georgia. And September 29th, that was their last pick six, and then they come back in consecutive plays and have two in a row. I bet you they've never done that. 2 plays in a row.
Are many people.
That's unbelievable.
I mean, think about that. Last 3 plays, 3 turnovers.
Well, they talked about impacting the quarterback, which is one of their keys today. And I think they've done just that. They've shaken Brendan Dowdy. We'll see if he's able to bounce back.
That'll be taken by Boyles out over the 25 to the 27-yard line.
We also talked about Dave playing with great eyes, seeing things, and I think the corners Coleman and Sutton certainly have done that thus far in this ball game.
Yeah, defensive coordinator John Jancic told us yesterday you can't have his guys peeking in the backfield. I mean, taking your eyes off receivers, and young guys have a tendency to stare down in the backfield, and so far it looks like that secondary's held up pretty good.
He said the strength of the defense was inside up front on the D line. I think they're okay. They're going to be okay in the secondary.
Fumble again. Picked up.
Boy, when it rains, it pours.
Max Arnold comes up with the loose football and takes it back 21 yards.
That's 4 plays, 4 turnovers for Western Kentucky since the first drive. Simpson fumbles the previous drive on the first play. They come right back. They give it to their workhorse back, Antonio Andrews. He's not in the open field. And I think it's Brent Brewer who reaches in, pops it out. And Max Arnold is the guy that recovers it. Never seen anything like it.
John Neal. He's to the 5 and falls forward down to the 1-yard line.
Oh, and that's the toughness that they ask him to run with. He's big enough to get it done between the tackles at 5'11", about 215. And they like to see this to the finish. Finish the run right there, lowering the head and then finishing at the end of it. Just challenging Arius Wright, the strong safety from Western Kentucky.
First and goal. Rajon Neal dives forward. Touchdown, Tennessee.
Well, when you have a big, solid offensive line like Tennessee's, I'd argue they've got one of the best in the country. They've played a lot of snaps. Antonio Richardson, he's rated the third offensive lineman if he comes out. In this year's draft, Alex Bullard, the left guard. James Stone has played a lot of football at center. Fulton and Juwan James at right tackle. They're solid.
One after is up and good. Coach is telling us yesterday they're not deep up front, but those starting 5, very, very good.
Yeah, Marcus Jackson, you throw his name in as well. He was an all-freshman in 2011 on the all-freshman team, but nice job there extending the football. You feel yourself losing your balance. You're going to go down short of the goal line. Just extend it. And all it's got to do is touch. Butch Jones a little fired up.
You know, he says over and over again, we want to practice fast. We want to play fast.
Yep.
I want controlled chaos at practice.
And you got to get these kids to believe. And they believe in what Butch Jones is selling. As for 4 years now, it's been tough on them. And now all of a sudden, you get a guy in here that knows how to win. He's got to reteach the kids in the program how to win and believe. He's off to a pretty good start.
Wow, 24-3. Remember, Western Kentucky took the opening kickoff, 7-minute, 5-second drive, 14 plays, got stuck down around the 20-yard line, had to settle for a field goal.
I think this one's long from being over. They've got the type of offense with Bobby Petrino that can strike quickly, get back in this game, a couple of defensive stops. I think this one is far from being over.
So Pilardi's getting quite the workout today. Kick off again. This will be taken by Wales. Going to get to the outside. And he will be dropped around the 23-yard line. And a flag comes in late.
There'll be a late hit there.
Illegal block in the back. 25 receiving team. 10-yard penalty for them to run. First down.
I'll tell you, they're not making it any easier on themselves.
That's Dre Bowles, who was in on that tackle, came off holding his shoulder. Well, you got to just, I mean, I would guess if you're Western Kentucky, just run 4 or 5 plays and get your heads right.
Well, you just got to get through a snap without putting the ball on the ground.
I mean, I've never seen anything like this.
4 plays, 4 turnovers, and 3 of which led to touchdowns.
And is that picked off? No way. You have got to be kidding me. This is incredible.
Well, the pressure came from Corey Miller and Brent Brewer, who just moved to linebacker, is the guy that comes up with the interception. And once again, Dowdy forces this football. Play action, he's looking downfield, gets a little bit of pressure, and it comes out of his hand wrong, but Brewer does a nice job of securing the football, trying to find his tight end, crossing. It looked like it was intended for Tyler Higbee. And he took a shot at the end of that one.
Andre, I don't know that you could even, I'm just guessing, 5 plays, 5 turnovers, maybe never happened in college football.
I don't know if it's ever happened in football, period. Because at some point you just put the ball in the running back's hands just to have anything positive happen. And they've tried that, and they put the ball on the ground. Last 5 plays, 5 turnovers, resulting in all 24 of Tennessee's points.
It feels like it might be the end of the 3rd quarter, but we've only played 15 minutes. And Western Kentucky, with a good opening drive, has melted down. And Tennessee has taken advantage to lead 24-3. Simply amazing.
Turn it over to you. You see what I did there?
Yeah, Dari, that's why you're the best in the business.
I'll tell you what, I had a feeling about that Miami game. Watching Florida last week was not impressed with them offensively.
Inside the 10, Josh Smith, another true freshman wide receiver, makes the catch.
Oh, a nice little curl route to Josh Smith. Cleared things out for him to curl up, and Worley right on time with the ball.
Marlon Lane, touchdown Tennessee. From 8 yards out, Lane with his 3rd rushing touchdown of the young season, and those 6 points also coming off a turnover.
Yeah, Lane is the more physical runner of the two between he and Rajon Neal. And he'll challenge defenders when they meet in the hole. Last year he was kind of slowed through camp with an ankle injury, so it took a while for him to get going. Well, you get a lead, Dave, and you just go to the strength of your football team, which is the 5 guys up front, and watch them create a nice crease. Look at that block by Alex Bullard, the left guard. I mean, he just takes his guy and just mauls him inside, which opens things up for Lane. And just paved a nice Nice way to the end zone.
31 points off those 5 Western Kentucky turnovers. Time to visit with Kara down on the sidelines.
Guys, we spoke with Butch Jones yesterday, and he is rebuilding this Tennessee program, trying to return it to national significance brick by brick. He gave one of these bricks to every player, every staff member, the custodians, the grounds crew, everybody that's in this football family to lay a foundation for success. And certainly today, you can see some bricks being laid down by this defense especially.
No doubt about it. I mean, you talk about interceptions, forcing fumbles, but what you like most, Dave, they're not settling for field goals at the end of those turnovers. They are turning them in to touchdowns, which, boy, that's big time.
That'll be a touchback. Out to the 20-yard line we go. Okay. We've had 5 Western Kentucky plays. We've had 5 Western Kentucky turnovers. Does the streak end here?
Yeah, go to the running game. You got to turn around, hand the ball off to Andrews. Antonio Andrews, try to get him going behind an experienced offensive line. They do a nice job up front. They cut well in space. I think I'd go right behind them just to get something positive going if you're the Western Kentucky offense. But it's actually Leon Allen that's in the ball game right now.
That ball is thrown into space, and the only people around it were orange jerseys, led by Justin Coleman.
Intended for Joel German.
Today's 1st and 10 line brought to you by your local Toyota dealers.
Right now you're starting to see a quarterback that's playing with very little confidence. He had German crossing and was wide open. That's a throw that he would hit if he were playing with a little bit more confidence. Well, 2 plays, Dave, no turnover.
We go back and correct. There was actually 1 play in there, Andre. It wasn't 5 consecutive plays with the turnovers. Actually 6 plays with 5 turnovers.
Yeah, tomato.
Doesn't make it feel any better, does it?
Doesn't feel any better.
14 minutes to go here in the 2nd quarter. Western Kentucky 3 out of 4 on 3rd downs. Pass is caught by Willie McNeil, and he is out over the 35-yard line. That'll be good enough for a 1st down.
And that's what you need from your quarterback, Doubt. Just an easy throw to build some confidence, and then offensively have some receivers make some plays. I'm telling you, this is an offense that can score some points in a hurry. They put up 35 last week against Kentucky. They're going to need every bit of that if they're going to win today's ball game, but they are certainly capable of getting themselves back in this game.
Mitchell Henry, the tight end, goes in motion. They'll run it off the right side behind the tight end, and nothing doing there as Tennessee is swarming to the football. Leon Allen with the carry.
And he's kind of their finisher, a guy who can take over the game in the 4th quarter. They used him that way last week. And talking to Coach Petrino, he said he reminds him a little bit of Michael Bush, who he coached at Louisville. Kind of the same style of runner, big punishing back that gets better as the game progresses.
Western Kentucky opened up with a 7-minute, 5-second drive to start this game. 14 plays on that drive. They got a field goal. And now they can't go anywhere.
Yeah, that's well run.
Loss of 6 on the play. Ladero McNeil, the safety, coming up to make the play for the Big Orange.
Boy, he just seems to get better. He really came into his own the 2nd half of last season, and he is a playmaker on the back end. Watch him here. Just kind of creeping in close to the line of scrimmage, reads things out, and then tackles the ball carrier right as the handoff is being made. And you've got to be able to see that, because you would have eyes for the quarterback, and then he readjusts and arrives right in the living room of Leon Allen.
So now it's 3rd and long. 3rd and 13.
Oh, here comes the pressure again.
That pass batted away at the last moment. Looking once again for Willie McNeil. It was batted down by Devon Swafford, another one of those true freshmen getting some work in that Tennessee secondary.
Yeah, he comes in nickel situations, and he's a terrific athlete. Took his team to 4 state playoff appearances. Last year he ran for over 1,200 yards and 29 touchdowns as a senior. High energy player.
Jacob Carter will return the punt. He stands back at the 25-yard line. Hendricks Brakefield with the punt for Western Kentucky. A nice return out to the 38-yard line, a 41-yard punt. So Western Kentucky got to run a few plays before they had to punt it away. Doesn't make that man any happier. Bobby Petrino's Hilltoppers down 28 here in the second quarter. Game is brought to you by Hyundai. New thinking, new possibilities. Buffalo Wild Wings, the official hangout for NCAA football. And by Woodman of the World. Some of the legendary Tennessee coaches. This program just picked up their 800th win. Second most in the Southeastern Conference. Alabama leads the SEC with that, but 800 wins is 8th best in the country. Butch Jones now leading these troops. Had to go to 2-0. Of course, Butch Jones got his feet wet as a head coach at Central Michigan. Won a couple of conference titles there. Then traveled to Cincinnati and was an assistant there before getting the job. Won a couple of titles at Cincinnati and now trying to do the same here at Tennessee. As Worley just throws it up in the air for grabs, and it's picked off in the secondary by Jonathan Dowling.
Yeah, and you look, and the offensive line still hadn't moved. An experienced group, they know that it's an offsides penalty. Take a little rest.
How about that?
Brian Shorter is the guy that jumps for Western Kentucky, and that's why Worley just hung it up into the air trying to make a big play down the field. He had a free shot.
Not one offensive
They didn't
lineman
move.
moved.
Offside. Defense 94. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
You'd at least get one guy that moves. But you see here, Shorter moves, not one guy moves. Look at that.
That is.
Think they played a few snaps together?
That's awesome.
That's big time.
Tennessee still no penalties.
They're making sure the officials get it right. Wasn't us that moved.
Didn't have any penalties last week. This time everybody's moving. And Worley will throw. A little bit high, almost snagged out of the air with one hand by Arius Wright, the safety out of Duluth, Georgia, looking for Big Howard.
And here's the offensive line, big talented group. Richardson is the main guy at left tackle, but Juwan James equally as talented on the right side, I think. And some guys that have played a lot of football together.
Worley 2 out of 6, 28 yards.
Well, they took their licks, though, because a lot of them started as true freshmen. Just kind of beaten up over time, and now they are beating people up.
Good hit on Marlon Lane. Maybe a yard on the play. James Hervey came in to make the play. He's out of Tyrone, Georgia, a senior defensive tackle.
Yeah, from a pretty good high school program at Sandy Creek.
Put out a few D1 players.
No doubt, and it's always seemed to be in the playoffs. I can't believe, with all the momentum that Butch Jones has, he's going to punt the football right here.
He doesn't want to, but he will on 4th and 1. Perhaps they will line up to punt it. Pilardi to punt it away. His last punt was down at the 1-yard line. This one will hit about the 3 and trickle into the end zone. So Hilltoppers obviously out to the 20-yard line and give us a chance to catch a breath. 31-3, Tennessee out in front here in the second quarter from Knoxville, Tennessee. Tennessee fans liking the action here in the first half. 31-3. That young fella, big Butch Jones fan, got his helmet signed by the coach, who has really had success everywhere he's been. 4 conference championships in the last 6 years, whether it was at Central Michigan or at Cincinnati. And just a high energy guy that just, you know, not that I would have helped anything, but I felt like I wanted to put a jersey on yesterday after our meeting.
Hey, what, he gets it, and he understands how to build programs, and I think they've got the right guy for this challenge of resurrecting Tennessee's program.
So the Hilltoppers 1st and 10 from the 20. Big hole up the middle. That'll be Leon Allen out over the 40 to the 44-yard line. Gain of 23.
I think Allen is the guy that Bobby Petrino is going to settle in on at running back. The other two, both Simpson as well as Andrews, have had fumbles in the ball game. You see here a little misdirection. They come back, a nice block on A.J. Johnson, the middle linebacker, which opened it up for Leon Allen. He had 92 yards on just 10 carries a week ago, and a touchdown to go along with it.
They'll stay with the ground game. Nice little stiff arm by Allen, and he will get it into Tennessee territory. Run out of bounds at the 44. That's a gain of 12. Randolph pushes him out.
I like the end of that run, Dave. Didn't run out of bounds before the first down marker. Turned back in knowing that you're going to draw some contact. A nice tough run and a heads-up play to know where you are on the field to pick up the first down.
.39 yards on the ground now for Leon Allen, who will stay in the game. 4-man look from Tennessee. Little pump fake down the middle, pass behind, and almost picked off. Cam Sutton almost had his second pick of the day.
Well, that's a well-thrown ball, and you knew it eventually because Tennessee's sitting on everything. They're jumping every route. The double move, a little pump fake right there, and he gets right back, gathers his feet. That is well thrown. Outside, away from coverage. The reason why I say it's well thrown, it's outside and it turns the receiver away from where he's going to take some contact. You're almost saving him, saving his body from being just blasted.
2nd down and 10. They'll come near side with it. Allen, good stiff arm. And he'll take it down to the 30-yard line. Another first down for Western Kentucky. That's a 14-yard pickup, and they're just riding the big legs of Leon Allen on this drive.
Yeah, he had a reception in last week's game for 5 yards there. Nice catch. Nice job by Dowdy to scan the defense, find your check down, and allow Leon Allen to pick up the first down for you. You got a slot receiver with nobody in front of him.
Dowdy over the middle. Pass is caught down around the 16-yard line. That goes to Joel German. A gain of 12 on the play. And Ladero McNeil with the tackle.
Well, that's easy. Just throw where they aren't. You had a safety trying to creep over late. It's too late for him. And Allen's already started towards the line of scrimmage, so he's got to respect it and backpedal. He runs an in route and shows that number 6 right to his quarterback, who hits him right between the number.
So now it's 1st down and 10.
Good drive here for Western Kentucky.
Ball just about the 16-yard line. Here's Allen. He'll fall forward for a couple. Jordan Williams will get credit with the initial hit for Tennessee. A defense that Andre, you know, we talked about it last year, and we were here late in the year, and they were just getting torched.
Yeah.
They couldn't stop anybody.
You could see it was a defensive unit that was playing with zero confidence. I mean, just out there, but missed tackle after missed tackle. Big plays they gave up at the end of last season. I think all that's changed. A lot of the same numbers and faces in uniforms, but they are playing with a totally different level of confidence.
Pass incomplete. Nice job by Dowdy.
Just to get it away. A.J. Johnson in his face, as well as Jerron Toney. You bring a corner blitz, and he gets there just to harass Dowdy enough. And just to throw it away was a pretty good job.
Western Kentucky 4 out of 6 on third downs this afternoon. Dowdy to throw. Allen, nice catch. Leaps forward. Did he get in? They will say he's down just outside the goal line.
Well, what an effort by Leon Allen, and it's been basically all Leon Allen on this drive. I mean, you talk about going to him and just feeding him the football in the running game, throwing him passes, not forcing this one, but here just allowing him to catch the football, turn up, pick up the first down. And boy, that is close, Dave. Just short right there, just short. Nice camera work.
I'd say give him the 6 just for the effort. My goodness.
I agree with you. They may take actually, Tennessee's going to take a timeout. Butch Jones
First time out of the half.
late getting some personnel into the game.
Leon Allen, this has been his drive. Coaches, you know, when you ask the coaches about Leon Allen, they say, the big smile on their face, they say just very talented. Almost got it in the end zone. See if he can when we get back.
Dari Nowkhah in studio. Florida down 14-6 to Miami, but with the ball, Trey Burton makes the play, then gives it up. 3 turnovers for Florida. They've been in the red zone 4 times, guys, and have scored a total of 6 points.
Unbelievable. Miami, I'm telling you, I think they're back. I think they're the real deal. They've got a good, solid quarterback. And Stephen Morris, 8 of 15 in that game, already 2 touchdown passes.
First and goal, Western Kentucky. Leon Allen off the right side. Does he power his way in? Yes, he does. The Leon Allen drive.
And I tell you what, Dave, he picked up a nice block from Kadeem Jones. He missed some of camp with an injury. The big fullback, 5'11", 246, and he just got behind him, and that's what got him into the end zone. Allen on this drive, 4 rushes, 38 yards. He also had 2 receptions for 27 yards, and there, the 1-yard touchdown run.
Garrett Schwetman will attempt the point after for the Hilltoppers, and he will successfully do so. 21-point game. Good drive by Western Kentucky. They have settled down a little bit, it appears. 6:47 to go in the second.
Dari Nowkhah in studio. Coming up on the C Spire halftime report. Florida having all kinds of trouble down in South Florida, while Kentucky is rolling right now. We'll also preview South Carolina, Georgia. Kevin Carter will join me at the half. Look at that first headline. Gators caught in a hurricane. Are we clever or what, guys?
I would say clever.
That's good stuff.
Dari working hard again today. Man never takes a day off.
Tell you what, Kentucky trying to bounce back from a loss last week for this Western Kentucky football team. 31-7 they're up.
How about that drive, though, by Western Kentucky?
Had to have it.
9 plays, 80 yards, a little over 3 minutes off the clock.
I'm telling you, call me crazy, this one's a long way from being over.
And will sail through the end zone out to the 20. Now the Hilltoppers will definitely need a quick stop here and get the football back with 6:47 to go before halftime, which will give us a chance to talk to you about the most storied conference in college athletics. Will live on a new network. Tradition has found a new home. It's the SEC Network, launching August 2014. For more information, be sure to go to secnetwork.com. 3 football games every Saturday next year.
Just can't get enough of SEC football.
Not to mention all the basketball, baseball, softball,
sweet
volleyball. The list goes on and on. Tennessee will work out of the shotgun on 1st and 10. Go to the wide side of the field. Pass is caught by Marquez North. Gain of 6 yards.
He was a 4-star recruit and the #1 player in North Carolina. 2nd overall wide receiver in last year's class.
Rajon Neal will get back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a half a yard when the pile clears. That'll bring up a 3rd down, and let's call it 3.5, maybe 4. Andrew Jackson with his 3rd stop out of that middle backer spot. And boy, we haven't talked a lot about Andrew, who is super talented.
Well, he can play sideline to sideline from that middle linebacker position.
Worley going up top. That pass was there, and it was just flat out dropped.
Jason Croom, redshirt freshman. I mean, he's there to make a play. The ball's well thrown away from the defender, and that's one you just got to come up with. Now, if you're Western Kentucky, it's going according to plan. You've turned it over 5 times, and you're still in this ball game. You get a score here before the half, you are very much in this thing. Any type of return here, Dave, they're going to have some pretty good field position.
Fair catch called for, and a good catch by Taywan Taylor, and Western Kentucky will have the football. But, you know, one of the areas of concern for Tennessee coming into this year was their wide receiver core. They lost Devin Young to a broken wrist in practice this week. He'll be out 4 to 6 weeks. But, I mean, not a whole lot of experience out there in the wideout position for Tennessee. We've seen some of that today, some of that inexperience show itself.
I'll tell you what else is missing, the tight ends. You've had some pretty good tight ends in the last couple of years. Michael Rivera, you're talking Jason Witten, a bunch of good, talented guys, and that's missing a receiving tight end here at Tennessee. They need to find one in this offense.
Hilltoppers 1st and 10. Dowdy steps back, throws the other way, wide open on the far side of the field. Antonio Andrews breaks a couple of tackles, and he's down to the 25-yard line.
I know it wouldn't be long before Bobby Petrino got him back in the game, because he's a playmaker and a guy that can help you get back in this thing in a quick way. Needed to build his confidence back after he put one on the ground. And there, they throw him a nice pass out in space. He had 3 receptions last week. But boy, they are on the move and can get themselves in pretty good position here before halftime.
Andrews picks up 43. And now it's 1st and 10 inside the 25. They'll swing it out to the right side. Here's Leon Allen. He had some blocks, but tripped up on the far side by Coleman. A gain of 5 for the Hilltoppers.
Coleman with a nice open field tackle. He started as a true freshman last year in 4 games, and they've got another true freshman on the other side who had a pick 6 along with him today, Cameron Sutton. So a young group, and that spells for a bright future. 2 young players in that secondary.
2nd down and 5. Western Kentucky moving the football with some success their last couple of opportunities. Allen chased down.
Boy, Sapp's lucky. He was reaching and almost horse-collared Leon Allen. It was actually 2 years ago that Coleman started as a true freshman out there at corner.
Allen will take a breather on a 3rd down and short.
A much-needed breather, because he has been the workhorse the last 2 drives for this Western Kentucky offense.
Western Kentucky has 220 yards of offense. Tennessee 79.
I'd give it to Andrews right here.
Andrews will get it. Big hole off the right side. He's down to the 5, down to the 4-yard line. 1st and goal, Western Kentucky.
Well, he runs like he would fit a zone blocking scheme perfectly, because he is one cut and he will hit it, and he'll give his body up. He doesn't care about the contact, but he will certainly initiate it. Watch him here. No wasted movement. One step, and then it's north and south with speed, lowering the shoulders. That's fun to watch. That's how you run the football between the tackles.
15 touchdowns a year ago for the young man. Working the left side, driving his way down to the 1-yard line.
See what kind of vertical he has. Let him go over the top.
Let's see, we've seen a bunch of
Go old school.
Yeah.
It's a push. Everybody thinks you're going to bull your way in. Just go over the top. Got big McCullers in there. You're not going to move him too much. Big 98 sitting right in the middle of that formation.
They'll fake it to Andrews and throw it. And Dowdy is dropped back at the 5. It was 2nd and goal inside the 1, and now it'll be 3rd and goal from the 5.
Yeah, you got to throw the football away. And the reason why you're saying, well, it's not that many yards or a difference, but it's a momentum thing. Now you've kind of breathed life into a defense that was on its heels. That one right there. Nobody's open. Throw the football away. Jordan Williams is the guy that comes up with a sack for Tennessee.
Oh, 3rd and inside the 1.
Right, throw it right between the goalposts and just come back on 3rd down from inside the 1. In the middle of the formation, wide open there.
Picked off in the end zone. Brian Randolph out over the 15. Turnover number 6.
I put that one on Bobby Petrino as much as I put it on Brandon Dowdy. And the reason why is the call on 2nd down. 2nd and 1, you run the football. You coach him up to throw the ball away and not force it. You actually could have run it here out of the gun, middle of the formation, nobody's there. You could have just handed it off, and then you're going to force one, trying to find the back of the end zone, the receiver there. And you got the safety waiting right in the middle of the field, Brian Randolph, who slides inside because of the route of the receiver.
Marlon Lane with the carry. Andre, I just go back. It's
go back to 2nd and 1. You just run the football. You're pounding away, moving them.
And you've got 2 backs, 245, 235.
Quarterback sneak would have maybe have gotten you the touchdown.
Would have been a 31-17 game. Probably that's the number heading into the locker room, and you got to feel like, we can't play any worse, and we're only down a couple of scores. Instead, it's 31-10. Now Tennessee's going to try to run out this clock before the break.
And then if you're going to throw the ball, you got to coach him up enough to say, hey, don't force anything. Throw it out of the back of the end zone.
Marlon Lane will pick up a yard. Davies Boyd with the tackle. Boy, what a half it has been for this Western Kentucky offense. 6 turnovers. I mean, they've had some decent drives. Obviously, you can't put up those kind of numbers in a half. 230 yards if you're not moving the football. But, 6 turnovers.
Discrepancy there. So Tennessee's had a short field because of the turnovers. So they hadn't had a lot of offense. And when they have been on the field, it's been a short field because of the interceptions or fumbles that they hadn't had to do a lot in order to score.
Time to take a look at our Good Hands play of the day, brought to you by Allstate. And a lot of good hands when you talk about this Tennessee secondary. 4 picks today. 2 have been pick sixes.
Well, right there, the long throw across the field on a hitch route. Ball stays in the air a long time. And then that's a nice grab there by the true freshman Marquise North.
Worley going deep down the near side. Pass is knocked away at the last moment.
North, I really like him. Like his frame, big guy that can run. I tell you what, Cam Thomas, the corner, he's got a hand in there at the last second. The number 2 overall receiver in last year's recruiting class.
Velarde's punt is blocked. Western Kentucky will have it.
Well, you really needed to pick that up and run.
Anthony Wales had it. He stumbled and fell down. Otherwise, that would have been a touchdown.
That doesn't make Butch Jones happy, and you've got time. 34 seconds. You've got 2 timeouts if you're Bobby Petrino to score here and really make it a football game. Watch at the top of the screen. They get in there, and it's Rico Brown with the fumble recovery. Tell you what, now Western Kentucky with a turnover on of their own at point-blank range and can get something on the scoreboard here before halftime.
Rico Brown with the opportunity.
And all bets are on right here because you have the 2 timeouts. You can run the football, stop the clock. You can do pretty much whatever you want. You don't have to go pass happy because you can indeed stop the clock.
Flag is down. Then a flag comes in late in the backfield.
Yeah, maybe a roughing the passer at the end of this. It's Corey Miller, who they threw the flag at his feet.
We have 2 fouls on the play. False start. Number 60 offense. That 5-yard penalty will be enforced. Following that, dead ball, personal foul, 80 defense. That penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
We'll see number 80. There's the false start, and then you see right at the end of this, Corey Miller doesn't pull up, and they flag him.
So now it's 1st and goal from the 6-yard line. That is the first penalty of the year for Tennessee. Out of the pistol formation. Dowdy to the end zone.
Well, these receivers have got to help him out. A couple of drops by German. You had the drop or the tip pass by Taywan Taylor that started this mess. And that one went for the first touchdown to Justin Coleman. And you have got to hold on to the football.
30 seconds to go. 2nd and goal now for Western Kentucky. And I go back. If they can make this a 14-point game before the break.
They're very much in it.
Very much so. With the way their offense has moved when they've held on to the football. Dowdy flushed out of the pocket. Throws, passes, caught. Nicholas Norris with the touchdown from 6 yards out.
Yeah, well thrown ball. Norris is crossing underneath. They take the 2 receivers right, bring them across the formation left to clear it out. And he's got man-to-man coverage and about a step and a half on his defender. Credit Brandon Dowdy there with a nice throw because he allows Norris to catch it on the run, which his momentum is what takes him into the end zone, not having to slow down to secure a catch.
Point after is up and good with 23 seconds to play before halftime. Norris, a youngster, true freshman, went to Booker T. Washington High School, the #1 ranked team in the country this year.
Yeah, watch the 2 receivers at the top. They're going to clear it out. And then the slot receiver at the bottom's coming underneath. Dowdy hits him right in stride. They cleared things out, almost a natural pick. A.J. Johnson, the linebacker, has the responsibility of covering the slot. That's a matchup as a quarterback you will take 10 out of 10 times every Saturday.
Boy, what a difference the last 30 minutes have made for this Western Kentucky team. They have turned it over 6 times, but have fought through all that to only trail by 6. Matter of fact, here's a little note for you. The NCAA record for turnovers on consecutive series is 7. Florida forced Florida State into 7 consecutive turnovers in 1972. The Vols have forced Western Kentucky at one stretch into 5 consecutive turnovers on 5 straight possessions.
That's amazing. 7.
Yeah.
I thought I'd seen it all today. I thought I saw the record.
You know, I went to Florida State. We didn't talk about that much. That was the 72. Back in the 80s, we didn't talk about that. I didn't know that.
Your alma mater setting the record.
What were they doing?
Mine is in trouble today against Temple.
Uh-oh. That's not a good sign. That kick taken by Vincent Dallas. He'll take it out to the 20-yard line. Well, coming up on the C Spire halftime report, Gators down in South Florida taking on the Hurricanes. Get an update from the guys in the studio on that. Also, Kentucky trying to bounce back after losing to the Hilltoppers last week in Lexington. And, of course, a preview of South Carolina, Georgia, a big one in the SEC. And I think it's make or break time for the Dogs today. I know it's early in the season, but how are they going to respond after that tough loss to Clemson on the road last Saturday night?
Well, that's a tough one when you have South Carolina coming into your play. That is tough. It was a tough 2 games, but you don't take care of business in that first one against Clemson, and then you come home against a South Carolina team that's rolling. Be a good ball game.
Tennessee forced 6 turnovers, but Bobby Petrino's Hilltoppers got to feel a little solace in the fact that they're only down a couple of touchdowns here with 30 more minutes of football to be played. Western Kentucky racked up 236 yards to Tennessee's 85. Let's check in with Kara.
Coach, a lot of momentum changes in that first half. How does Tennessee take it back from Western Kentucky in the second half?
Well, we just have to play our game. We haven't made plays in critical situations. We drop a touchdown pass. That can't happen. We give up a block punt, which is inexcusable. And we get stopped on 3rd and short. That can't happen. We just have to go back and come out and play our game.
Thanks, Coach. Dave?
All right, Kara, you know, it's for a man that's up 31-17. You can tell he feels a little bit of the stress. 31-17, Vols lead it. Time for us to head to the studio. Dari and Kevin, it's all yours, guys.
All right, thank you very much. It is time for the C Spire halftime report. A little bit more anxiety, I think, in Knoxville than most people wanted. It was 31-3 at one point. 5 turnovers in the first quarter. Big things happen. But back comes a good football team. Once they could stop shooting themselves in the foot, we knew they'd be in business, and they are. 31-17 now in the first half. 6 turnovers, and they're still down just 2 touchdowns.
That's amazing what you just said. 6 turnovers, and they're still in this ball game, only down by 2 scores. Western Kentucky just shows the testament of how strong they are offensively. They're able to bounce back from 6 turnovers. Brandon Doughty, he's looked good, but he's been a little indecisive at times, kind of throwing the ball around a little bit. The offense is wide open, but you see Antonio Andrews, good team. 6 turnovers still in the game.
And Tennessee defensively, too. I mean, to their credit, they forced 6 turnovers. They've picked off 4 passes, and they lead at 31-17.
Back at Neyland Stadium, where the Tennessee Volunteers lead it by 14 after 2 quarters of football. Dave Neal back alongside my partner Andre Ware. And Andre, you know, most teams go in the locker room 31-17. You're up, you're feeling pretty good, but you don't get that sense around this stadium right now.
No, I tell you why. It's because right before halftime, that block punt and then a touchdown pass by Western Kentucky really kind of took the momentum from Tennessee's sideline, and it shifted. So you get the football first. If you're Tennessee, you need to go down and put some more points on the scoreboard.
Well, let's take a look at today's Napa Auto Parts playbook, and we'll start with a pick 6.
Yeah, Cam Sutton, there's a nice little cushion here, but the receiver up top never really threatens him as if he's going deep, so it allows Cam Sutton to kind of sit, peek back at the quarterback, and he gets a nice jump on the football and then takes it back for a quick pick 6. And then you get 2 routes going inside. It creates a natural pick on A.J. Johnson, the middle linebacker, a nice underneath route here, and you see Brandon Doughty A nice job of moving around. That ball's thrown right out in front of Nicholas Norris, the slot receiver, and he takes it into the end zone. And I think that's when the momentum really shifted for Western Kentucky. Put them right back in this ball game. They've turned the ball over 6 times, yet they're only down by 2 scores.
Western Kentucky's got to feel pretty good despite all the activity in the first half to only be down 14. But here comes Tennessee. Vincent Dallas on this return. He's got a little bit of room to the 35, falls forward to the 40. So good starting position now for the Volunteer offense after a 36-yard return by Mr. Dallas. Take a look at these stats, and it is all Western Kentucky.
Yeah, you would think it's a totally different ball game when you look at that. They were just dominant, only 84 yards of total offense. But keep in mind, when you turn the ball over that much, it's a lot of short fields and a lot of quick scores. So that's where the discrepancy comes in. They also possessed it twice as long as Tennessee, yet they're down 2 scores here with the 6 turnovers.
To only be down 14 with 6 turnovers is incredible. Let's see if this offense by Tennessee can move some chains. Gain of 6 on the play by Rajon Neal in the first half. Rajon in that first half finished up with 5 carries, 24 yards. Marlon Lane, 3 carries, 9 yards. But Justin Worley really struggled in that first half. 3 of 9, 35 yards. That'll be a first down into Western Kentucky territory after the 11-yard pickup. Give us a chance to check in with Karen.
Tuck the ball away securely and don't throw it away. That was how Bobby Petrino managed the message of those offensive miscues in the first half for the Hilltoppers. He told me if they can take care of the football in the second half, he thinks they can sustain momentum.
Worley hit as he throws down to the 5. Pass caught, 1st and goal, Tennessee. Jonathan Johnson with a 37-yard pickup.
Well, we talked to Nick Holt, the defensive coordinator of Western Kentucky, and one of the things he told us is that they couldn't give up big plays. To keep your eyes on your luggage. Don't get caught peeking in the backfield. You've got to take care of your responsibility where they did there, and Justin Worley made them pay.
Neal off the left side, driving and stopped shy of the goal line. He's down to the 1. It'll be 2nd and goal. Andrew Jackson will get credit for tripping him up.
Neal does a good job of keeping his feet moving once contact is made with a defender. So he's always going to fall forward after contact.
Here's Neal. He cuts it inside for a Tennessee touchdown. That didn't take very long.
As this Justin Worley heard you. All of a sudden he makes a big play down the field, get him inside the red zone, and go right behind that big offensive line. Alex Bullard or Antonio Richardson and James Stone. With some nice push to get Rajon Neal in the end zone.
Velarde's point after. It's up and good. You talked about momentum out of the locker room. Tennessee certainly snatched it out of the air. It's now 38-17. Big play in that. A 37-yard touch reception by Johnson. Sets up the 1-yard plunge by Neal. Time to take a look at our BMW scoring drive. And for Tennessee, it didn't take very long. Good kickoff return, set him up in decent field position. 5 plays, 59 yards, and the 1-yard touchdown run by Rajon Neal.
I'll tell you what, Justin Worley in the first half, you mentioned it, 3 of 9 for 35 yards. That last pass he completed to Jonathan Johnson was for 37 yards. That was more on one pass than he had the entire first half.
And Antonio Andrews.
And Dave, I think they're going to have to get more out of Justin Worley. He only threw for 104 yards in last week's ball game. He had a high completion percentage, but the yardage was low. If they're going to go where they want to go or get to where they want to go, he's going to have to put. They're going to put more on his shoulders, and he's going to have to answer in the passing game, because you're going to meet some teams that are going to crowd the line of scrimmage and take away the run from Tennessee, and then it's going to be on his shoulders to soften a defense with a passing game.
And here's the offense that coughed it up 6 times in the first half. They will swing it out to the far side. Leon Allen will get 1.5 yards.
I've been impressed with Sapp, the outside linebacker. Now 7 tackles in today's ball game. He forced a fumble and had a fumble recovery on the one he forced. He has been very, very active. The senior out of Valdosta, Georgia, Valdosta High School.
Second down and 8. Here's Allen. Stays on his feet, still loses 1 yard on the play. Justin Coleman coming up to make another nice stop defensively. Today's 1st and 10 line is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers.
Yeah, Coleman, you find yourself as a corner a lot of times out in space like that. Big running back coming, and that's not an easy chore to bring down Allen, who goes about 6 foot 235, and Coleman's about 185, soaking wet. But he makes a nice tackle in space to create this 3rd and long.
Bobby Petrino coming out on the sidelines. He is not happy. I'm assuming with his quarterback for not getting the play called or calling the timeout.
Well, and they had all the momentum going into the locker room. Down 2 scores, and the thing he couldn't have happen was to give up a touchdown to start this second half with Tennessee getting the football and then come out and stall the first drive of their own here in the second half. So they really need to pick up a first down here.
3rd down and 14. Dowdy over the middle. Some running room. Pass is caught by Joel German, and he'll be really close to the first down. I think he's got it. He's over the 35. They'll spot it close to the 36. So 3rd and 14, and they pick it up.
Well, what I liked at the end of this was German didn't hesitate, didn't try to throw a lot of moves. He got north and south after the catch, and that's what allows him to pick up the first down. Watch it here. The crosser right into the middle of your screen, slows down in zone coverage, shows the numbers, and then right there, that's what gets the first down. Plants that foot and gets north and south. If he pitter-pats, he's going to come up short of the first down.
Boy, we saw that pattern and that type of offense so often at Arkansas.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's got a lot of weapons here, that a lot of talent that was left behind by Willie Taggart, who's now the South Florida head coach.
Of course, Bobby Petrino taking the year off last year before getting back into the coaching business, but his head coaching stops at Louisville was successful. The Falcons, incomplete as he left them after 13 games. Goes to Arkansas and really turns that program around. And then, of course, all the significant incidents that led to his firing at Arkansas, and then hired December 10th last year. And, you know, it's interesting when you think about, he got that job in December. Western Kentucky was going to a bowl game. They had an interim head coach, as Willie Taggart had already moved on to South Florida. And he told us yesterday one of the great things that he had the opportunity to do was go to every one of those practices leading up to their bowl game and evaluate his talent. So he had a head start in terms of figuring out what he wanted to do with his personnel.
Yeah, and as well it helped him in recruiting, knowing the needs by being able to watch those practices and address some needs through the recruiting class he brought in.
Pass is caught by Joel German.
See, that's a pass right there that a confident Brandon Dowdy can complete. Get through 4 interceptions. It's hard to continue to play on with confidence, but there, right on the money, a nice corner route. That was my favorite pass, by the way. I think I could throw that one in my sleep every once in a while.
You popped up out of your chair there.
I mean, those get me my blood boiling a little bit. I like seeing corner routes completed like that.
First down and 10. Out of the I formation. Here goes Allen. Tries to kick it to the outside, and another good play by Coleman hanging on. Daryl McNeil also in on that. And, you know, this is a Tennessee group that doesn't have a lot of depth, Andre. In the first half, they were on the field for 20 minutes, and you wonder about the grind on a hot day, what kind of impact that'll have. This is also a group that didn't play in the second half.
Talking to the coaches yesterday as well, they said, you know, it's a group that went out last week, and the first group played well. And then all of a sudden they had to go to the backups, and they didn't show as well as they wanted to against Austin Peay. So they're trying to build some depth to give those guys some rest as they get into conference play. It's going to be tough to go 60 minutes without having some backups that can contribute and help you out.
Well, Andros checks in. He's certainly been catching his breath. But wide open over the middle is the tight end, Mitchell Henry. He's to the 20, down to the 15, to the 10-yard line. But a flag is down at the line of scrimmage. A 33-yard pickup.
This may be an offsides. One of the Tennessee players was very, very close to the ball as before it was snapped, and they've got some good tight ends.
Defense 44. The penalties decline. Play results in a first down.
Yeah, it was Maurice Couch. You could see him lined up well into the neutral zone. Right in here is where he's lined up, and he is right on the football. I was wondering if that was going to get called, but they've got two excellent tight ends in Henry and Higbee. And then it's Henry, the big 6'4", 245-pound tight end, that turns this one into a big play. Well, that could have been rough in the passer. Went a little high.
Yes, he did.
On Brandon Doughty.
Doughty now 17 of 29, 222. Doughty over the middle behind his receiver.
Boy, he's going to kick himself because he had Andrews in the flat.
Looking for Nicholas Norris, the true freshman out of Miami.
Just got to believe in what's there. Watch this route, the swing route by the back. Everything's going to go inside, and there, it's wide open. You're talking about Andrews, one of your best playmakers, one-on-one outside with a corner. That's advantage offense in that situation.
So now it's second down and goal. Will fake the toss sweep.
Smart. Nobody open. Tennessee didn't bite on the play fake, and it was a tight window, so you just throw it out of the back of the end zone and come back on third down. And intended for Willie McNeil, a redshirt junior wide receiver out of Bradenton, Florida.
You know, this is a team that was 2 of 12 on third downs last week. They have certainly increased that today. 7 out of 10. Doughty 5 out of 8 passing on third down. They're looking at third and goal.
Boy, they got a quarterback draw. Look at all of this in the middle of the field.
Doughty flushed and dropped back at the 17-yard line. Jordan Williams will get credit for the sack, the second of the day for Tennessee.
2 reasons you can't take that sack, Dave. 1, momentum, and 2, it makes it a more difficult field goal attempt. Right here, you start to feel the pressure. That ball's got to come out. You're not going to outrun that, and the pressure's coming from inside out. The ball, once you escape one, it's got to be gone.
33-yard field goal attempt from Schwetman. He is hit from 38 today. This one is good. So it wasn't a touchdown, but Western Kentucky does put a 3 spot on the board. It's an 18-point game, but a lot of time left here at Neyland Stadium. 8:42 to go in the third. Today's SEC game is brought to you by C Spire. Welcome to a different kind of wireless network. C Spire, personalized wireless. Buick. Visit your local Buick dealer to see why thousands of people are switching to Buick. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Peyton Manning had a good start to the season with 7 touchdown passes in his opener Thursday night. There's a guy that certainly is familiar to Tennessee fans, Al Wilson. Time now for a look at an SEC great, brought to you by Regions Bank. As you look at Mr. Wilson, only first-team All-American on the 1998 National Championship team. course, drafted in the first round by the Broncos. Fans, look for the Region's 10th Saturday, September 21st, the Tennessee-Florida game to meet SEC great Jack Youngblood, courtesy of Regions Official Bank of the SEC.
Boy, he'd hit you, wouldn't he?
Oh, man.
What an outstanding defensive player, an outstanding linebacker. Went on to star for the Denver Broncos for a while. Good player.
Western Kentucky has put together some pretty good offensive numbers today, with the exception of those turnovers.
Their last three, they got down inside the red zone, 2 touchdowns and a field goal.
300 yards for the Hilltoppers, 143 of offense for Tennessee. And Dallas will take a knee in the end zone, and the Vols will have it out at their 20-yard line.
Majority of those yards you talked about for Tennessee have been on the ground. That's why I'm saying at some point they're going to have to put it on Worley's shoulders, and he's going to have to develop a little bit faster. And he's got all the tools. He's a mobile guy. He can throw with touch. He can zip the football when they need him to. You just got to have enough confidence in him, and he's got to show the coaching staff, really earn their trust. 4 out of 10 is not going to earn the trust of Butch Jones when he wants to put the game on your shoulders.
Said 20-yard line, 25-yard line on that touchback. So let's see what Tennessee's offense can do here. First down and 10. Tailback Rajon Neal. We'll do a little end around to Pig Howard. He's got some room. And Pig is to the 44-yard line and dropped there. That's a 19-yard pickup.
It looked like the corner on the other side, Tyree Robinson, he went down, and they wanted to get a touch to Pig Howard. Alton Howard, the wide receiver, who's outstanding with the ball in his hands. Last year he was their Wildcat quarterback, so they just found a way to get him involved offensively.
Worley stands in the pocket, throws a bullet pass, is caught by Josh Smith, and he is inside Hilltopper territory to the 40-yard line. 16-yard pickup. Jonathan Dowling drags him down.
You know, if I'm Nick Holt, the defensive coordinator for Western Kentucky, that's what I'm going to make him do. I'm going to crowd the line of scrimmage, play man-to-man, and see if Justin Worley can continue to do that with consistency. Stop the run first. Which looks like exactly, you know, what they're doing. Man free. Now they're bumping into 2 safeties up high.
Neal spins and falls forward. They'll spot it just inside the 30. That'll be about a half-yard shy of the first down. Arius Wright trips him up.
Basically bumped into a coverage because you move one defender away from the line of scrimmage, so it's tailor-made for what Tennessee wanted to do there, which was run the football.
So Neal had 7 carries for 28 yards in the first half. And he picks up the first down. Dowling drops him a gain of 4. But here in the second half, starting to pick it up a little bit. He now, for the game, has 13 carries, 63 yards. To the end zone, and Worley overthrows.
That right there,
north.
That right there is why, if I'm Nick Holt, I'm going to take away the run. There you go at Tyree Robinson, who was injured on that end around by Pig Howard. But I'm going to crowd the line of scrimmage, try to take away the run, and force him to be a consistent passer, and just basically force me out of crowding the line of scrimmage.
Second down and 10. Worley now 5 out of 12, 88 yards. Pass caught at the 20-yard line. Gain of 6 for Jacob Carter, the junior out of Nashville, Tennessee. Former walk-on, received a scholarship last year right before kickoff of the NC State game. You and I were able to do at the Georgia game.
Yeah.
Well, after that game, we felt like Tennessee might have had an opportunity to have a pretty good year.
They looked sharp that day. A lot of weapons. First-round pick, second-round pick, both at wide receiver.
Worley over the middle, passes caught, That'll be a first down. It'll be first and goal for Tennessee. 12 yards. Josh Smith, the freshman from right here in Knoxville, makes that catch.
Boy, he gets great inside position. We talked to the coaching staff about him. They say he's a great route runner. A guy that came from a good high school program and knows how to run routes.
Neal stays on his feet. Touchdown. 7-yard run to pay dirt for Rajon Neal.
It's tough to come back when they're scoring sevens and you're putting up field goals. Right here, nice block up front. The left side, Richardson and Bullard just blow up the line of scrimmage and allow Neal in almost untouched.
His third rushing touchdown of the game. Velarde's point after is up and good. So Rajon Neal now with 14 carries, 70 yards, 3 touchdowns, and another impressive drive by Tennessee. When we come back, we'll talk about what's in store today around the Southeastern Conference. Stay with us. Back at Neyland Stadium. A lot of activity around the SEC this week. When you think about the league, once again, 6 teams in the top 12 of the latest AP poll. Florida and Miami in a good one, 14-9. Gators trying to rally against the Hurricanes down in South Florida. And then, of course, tonight, Andre, South Carolina and Georgia. Your thoughts on that?
I like the Gamecocks in that one. Georgia still with kind of sulking from that loss to Clemson. And you talk about a fired-up South Carolina team coming into Athens. I think they get it done tonight. They wreaked havoc on Aaron Murray in last year's game.
Well, Velarde will kick it off again from the 35. A little pooch kick that will hit at the 12. Nice pickup by Anthony Wales on a short hop. And he will get it out over the 20. Good coverage by the guys in orange. Well, time for our C Spire conference call. And for that, we'll look at the SEC Eastern Division standings as they were expected to play out this year. The preseason prognosticators thought Georgia might win the Eastern Division, South Carolina, Florida, and then you see the rest of the group there.
I tell you what, don't sleep on that team second to the bottom, Missouri. They played a lot of players last year. A lot of guys got some experience. They've got depth. James Franklin is finally healthy. They won't finish that low, I promise you, in the East.
Leon Allen back in the game and running back. Dowdy. Down over the middle, little contact around the 40. They'll call it incidental contact. And, of course, the Western Kentucky coaches thought it was more than just incidental. It was contact.
Boy, I really like the tight ends of Western Kentucky. Long-bodied guys. Higby's more the receiving type. He made the move to wide receiver from tight end this spring. He is an excellent route runner. Added a little bit of weight. He could still put some more weight on that frame. He's only a sophomore, so at 235, you know he's going to add some more weight.
Right into the teeth of that front four. Charged by Daniel McCullers.
Boy, did he shed a block and make a nice play.
Well, they want more of that.
Yeah.
I mean, they see it in practice, but they don't see it enough.
That's 350 pounds at 6'8". And, you know, he'll flash. And they say right now that he's kind of a two-down player where he is excellent on first and second down, and then he's got to take a breather. They want him to get better as a pass rusher so they can keep him on the field.
Well, Coach Jones actually called him out and said this defense is going to go as far as McCullers will take him. 3rd down and 9. Andrews in the backfield. Dowdy looking for a little bit of help, throws it down the sidelines, and that should have been picked off by Byron Moore.
That was a gift to Byron Moore. Telegraphed, he got a chance to break on the football and just couldn't come down with it. Dowdy right here trying to squeeze one into Andrews, and what, Byron Moore's going to look at that one in the film study tomorrow, knowing that he should have had an interception.
But the Vols get the stop. Hendricks Brakefield to punt it away. Jacob Carter back to return the punt. He stands at Tennessee's 35. Returnable kick. Carter in at the 41-yard line. 45-yard punt. 6-yard return for Jacob Carter. Well, we'd like to recognize our friends at Allstate for their charitable contributions across the country. Since 2005, Allstate has donated more than $3 million through the Good Hands Field Goal Net program to benefit University General Scholarship points.
Well, they can really get a handle on this game if they score here, Dave.
The defensive coordinator, Nick Holt.
Lane has checked himself in at running back.
They will set up the screen. And Lane run out of bounds near midfield at the 49-yard line. 7-yard pickup. He's got a good number here for Tennessee fans out there with these 90 points in the first 2 games. It's the most points the Vols have scored in their opening 2 games since 1996.
Wow.
When they had 97. They put up 62 against UNLV and then followed that up with 35 against UCLA. Big hole right up the middle. Marlon Lane runs over a defender down to the 31. 20-yard pickup.
Let me tell you something. He ran over a pretty good defender, Jonathan Dowling. And I told you earlier, Lane is not afraid of contact. He is by far the more physical of the 2 backs that Tennessee has. Looked up Dowling there and won that battle.
Lane cuts it back inside the 30 down to the 28-yard line. Raphael Cox with his first tackle today. That is an 8-yard pickup for Marlon Lane. He's now starting to chew up some turf himself. He's got 9 carries for 50 yards.
That's what Butch Jones talked to us about yesterday, the 4-yard carries that, you know, if you break a tackle or 2, you can pick up some additional yards. And Neal's always trying to hit the home run, always bouncing things. I like how Lane runs the football. He takes what's there and then comes back the next down.
And Lane will get it down to the 20. It was interesting. He says, I want our guys to get the 4 yards.
Yeah.
Get me the 4 and then do what you need to do.
Yeah.
But get me the 4.
And at times, Rajon Neal will bounce before he even gets into the line of scrimmage, and you wind up with nothing because he's trying to hit the home run. He actually got moved to receiver with the last coaching staff because they didn't feel like he ran with enough power and with that physical style that you look for in a back his size.
Nick Howard in motion across the formation. Out of the shotgun. Here goes Worley. He is popped at the 23-yard line. First man there, Xavier Boyd. That'll be a loss of 2 on the play.
He leads the team in tackles, coming in with 13, and he's got 8 today. Senior out of St. Petersburg, Florida, Lakewood High School. Also had 2 sacks last week against Kentucky.
Matt Austin will give us the call here.
Timeout, Western Kentucky. Their second timeout of the half. Be a 30-second timeout.
2:26 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Time for us to sit it downstairs. Kara, what's going on?
Guys, you were talking about Marlon Lane, Rajon Neal, and their strengths and weaknesses. And offensive coordinator Mike Bajakian telling us yesterday he sees his two running backs right now as a 1-1 punch. Their skill sets are very similar. And for him, it's a great asset because he can roll in a fresh player when the other guy needs a spell. We kind of saw Neal on the last couple of drives, and now Lane is getting it done for this Tennessee offense in this next set of drives. And, you know, it's got to be a nice thing for him, but he's also looking for that player who can go beyond the expected results of the called play, Andre.
Yeah, I tell you what, Lane is he runs physical. And Neal has done it at times, but they need to see more of it from him on a more consistent basis.
Second down, they'll swing it out to Pig Howard. And he is corralled inside the 15. He'll be about 4 yards shy of that first down, an 8-yard pickup.
So anxious to get the football. A young sophomore. If he allows the blocks to set themselves up, he might still be running.
You know, when we talked to offensive coordinator Mike Bajakian yesterday as well, you know, it was one of those things. We asked him about the Wildcat package. He says it's in there, but he gave us that thing. I don't know when we're going to pull it out or who we're going to use it with. Rajon Neal. There's a flag. It's right in the area of a hole. Matt Austin threw that one from behind the line of scrimmage. That was a first down, but it'll be coming back.
Yeah, one of the edge guys for this Tennessee offense is the
Holding, offense 74. 10-yard penalty, repeat third down.
big Antonio Richardson. Talented left tackle is the guy that gets caught.
Richardson, a preseason All-American on some folks' lists.
Yeah, he's rated as the 3rd overall offensive lineman by Todd McShay and this year's group of offensive linemen that may go to the NFL.
Junior out of Nashville, Tennessee. Go on third down, pressure comes. Worley to the corner of the end zone. That should be picked off, and it is. And Western Kentucky will have the football. Cam Thomas with the interception. A flag came in late.
Maybe a block in the back by Andrew Jackson, the middle linebacker, on this return. Worley just kind of put that one up. Got some pressure from Wright, the free safety.
There's no foul on the play for block in the back. First down.
See here, Wright. Darius Wright's going to be the guy that comes through, flushes him out of the pocket, and he just kind of heaves this one up into double coverage. And Cam Thomas, the corner, comes away with the interception.
So Western Kentucky will have it at the 17-yard line.
You're going to do that, you better throw it to the corner of the end zone where your guy can make a play or it's going out the back of it. Otherwise, bad things happen when you just throw the football up.
25-point lead for Tennessee. Getting late in the third quarter. Big hole off the right side for Andrews. He's got a lot of daylight. Andrews down to the 40 and thrown down at the 36 by Justin Coleman.
You just wonder where that's been because he's so talented. You see it on film. Byron Moore is the guy that finally makes the tackle. Excuse me, missed the initial tackle. Watch right here. He misses, and that allows the back to get up the field, and then it's Justin Coleman who makes the tackle. But I tell you what, where has Antonio Andrews been?
47-yard pickup. Andrew stays in the game. Fullback is Leon Allen out working out of that I formation. There is Andrews again. He is down to the 25-yard line. That's 11 yards on that pickup. So 58 yards and 2 carries for Mr. Andrews. He is now 10 carries for 90 yards. He had 99 last week on 20 carries.
Yeah, they sat him, and I'll tell you what, in defense, Leon Allen actually was playing well, which didn't get him back on the field fast because of the fumble. But I tell you what, I believe in giving guys a second chance. You know, they fumble, you come right back and give it to them and build some confidence. Too talented to have him on the bench.
Toss it again to Andrews. He's to the 15. Down to the 13-yard line. That's 12 more yards. Byron Moore feeling the wrath of Mr. Andrews. He's up over 100 yards.
How can you put over 3,100 yards of total offense, 1,700 of it on the ground last year? You can't sit him. He is a playmaker and a guy you need if you want to get back in this football game.
145 yards of offense for Andrews today, 43 through the air. Antonio breaks a tackle and then slips down around the 8-yard line. He'll pick up 4 hard-earned yards on that carry. Brian Randolph comes up to make the play, and that'll do it for the third quarter, giving Andrews a chance to catch his breath. Hilltoppers moving, but Tennessee with a 25-point lead as 3 quarters are in the books. Quarter number 4 coming up on the other side. Butch Jones and his Tennessee Volunteers lead at 45-20. They were gifted 6 turnovers in the first half. They have taken this 25-point lead. But Western Kentucky has put up some pretty good numbers offensively. They're now up to 375 yards of total offense.
Threatening here inside the 10-yard line.
Dave Neal, Andre Ware, Kara Capuano down on the sidelines. Glad you could join us.
Plenty of time, Dave.
15 minutes to go.
15 minutes down by 25, and you're threatening it here. Plenty of time.
Leon Allen in at running back. They'll work him to the right side. He will be bumped out of bounds at the 5, a couple of yards shy of the first down line. Byron Moore with the big hit. That's a 4-yard pickup. That snapped a streak of 4 straight carries for Antonio Andrews, where he picked up 74 yards in those 4 carries.
Yeah, Byron Moore was one of the few bright spots on this defense last year. Was playing well at the end of the season. Now a 5th-year senior. It's really solid. They had 5 tackles in last week's ball game against Austin Peay.
Here we go. 3rd down and 2. I've got to think this is 2-down territory, down 25 points. Doesn't matter as Allen loses the football. There is no whistle on the play.
I thought he was down.
There's a flag down at the 3.
And it's right in that area of holding.
Yeah, it looked like he was down.
Now, if this is indeed ruled a fumble, all 3 running backs for Western Kentucky have put it on the ground.
During the play, holding offense number 60. That penalty's declined. Play results in the first down, Tennessee.
See here if Allen's knee is indeed down as he's stretching for the goal line right there. I thought the knee was down as he was stretching. Watch here, better look. Yeah. I thought for sure he was down. I think when they take a look at this, they'll overturn this one. Knee is down right there. He's stretching for the ball, stretching for the goal line, still has possession. He's down.
Yeah.
You see him here. Right about there, he's down as he starts to stretch for the goal line.
You know, it's guys holding the chains over there haven't budged.
Well, watch. This is the better view right here. Now watch the knee right there. And he's stretching. And so he still has possession. The knee is down. I think this one will be overturned. fighting. The left knee actually may be down. I mean, the right one may be down simultaneously with the left. He's still got possession of the football as he's stretching it out for the goal line. I think Western Kentucky's going to retain possession here.
Remember earlier in this game, if you just joined us, in the first half, Western Kentucky ran 6 plays and had 5 turnovers. So 5 consecutive possessions with a turnover. The NCAA record is 7.
After review, the runner's knee was down prior to fumbling the ball. Therefore, the ball was dead at that spot. However, we still have the holding. A number 60 offense will be enforced from the previous spot. Repeat, second down.
That's what replay's for, Dave, to get it right.
So they will spot the ball back at the 15-yard line. It will be 3rd down. Matt Austin said second down. I believe it's 3rd down.
Yeah. 3rd down here, and I think you're right. Now it's definitely 2-down territory because you can pick up a first down inside about the 3-yard line. And you need scores here. The big ones, not field goals.
Andrews back in the game at running back. Dowdy has plenty of day to run and will throw it, and it's picked off. Brian Randolph brings it out, still on his feet to the 20-yard line. And Dowdy's going to look at that.
He could still be running. He could have run in the end zone and then run to the sideline and got a couple of high fives. I tell you what, that's amazing. Sometimes you got to know just when to hold on to the football. Watch this and watch all the green grass in front of Brian Dowdy. Freeze it. Look at this. I could chip in that area. Bring my sand wedge out. Here it is again. Look at all of that in front of him. Dive for the first down, which is about here. Just dive for it.
Oh, he's going to look at that on tape, Andre, and go, oh, my goodness. That is 5 interceptions today. 5.
And of the 5, you know, 4 of them's directly on him. One's on a receiver because he threw about as accurate a pass as you could throw right into his hands, and it bounces up, and Coleman takes it back for a touchdown. But the rest of them, they are squarely on the shoulders of Dowdy.
Well, the 7 turnovers forced today by Tennessee is the most for a Vol team since 1984. They did 7 turnovers against Memphis.
Oh, nice ball.
Well, that was a rope to the 40-yard line to Jonathan Johnson, and the flag comes in late.
Maybe some extra and some frustration finally come bubbling up from Western Kentucky's defense.
That may have been the best throw of the day by Worley.
Following the play, personal foul, number 4 of the defense, unnecessary roughness. 15-yard penalty from the end of the play, first down.
They will end up spotting this ball at the 42-yard line. And Bobby Petrino has to be just about as frustrated as he has been in a while. 7 turnovers. 6 penalties now. Big hole off the right side. Here goes Marlon Lane. He falls inside the 25-yard line. Another big gainer. That's 19 for Marlon.
Well, that's what usually happens. When you have that many turnovers, the defense is frustrated. Jonathan Johnson catches the big in route from Worley, and then all of a sudden you come right back, run the football. Marlon Lane, once he clears the line of scrimmage, there is a huge hole for him to run through.
72 yards now for Marlon. He will add to that total as he drives down to the 17, make it the 18-yard line, and pick up a 5 on the play.
Just milking that clock now. You got a big offensive line that is just leaning. Now it's the fourth quarter. A legitimate SEC offensive line has taken over. That's what you want if you're Butch Jones, to be able to turn it over to the 5 guys up front.
Don Mahoney, the offensive line coach for Tennessee, telling his guys, this is your time. Make some room. Just like that, and Lane goes inside the 10. First down, Tennessee, 9 more yards.
And you look, Dave, look at this right here. That's the average heights and weights of Tennessee's offensive line at 6'4.5", 312 and a quarter, and then the defensive line for Western Kentucky only 266 and a half. And over a period of time, the more snaps you get defensively, that big line starts to wear you down. The later you get into a football game, the size differential really takes over.
Lane inside the 5. Tennessee now is racked up close to 190 yards.
Keep an eye on
the ground.
Keep an eye on Brendan Downs, that's checking in at tight end, because they are primed for a nice play fake and a toss over the middle to this tight end that just checked in.
85 in orange. He'll stay in and block. And Lane will fall down to the 2-yard line. It'll be 3rd and goal. Xavier Boyd with tackle number 9 this afternoon for the Hilltoppers.
Bringing in the big wide receiver, Quiz North.
Tennessee just 1 out of 7 on 3rd downs. They're looking at a 3rd and goal. There's the tight end. Did he get in? Did he cross the plane? Yes, he did. Well, you called it, partner. Brendan Downs with the touchdown from a yard out.
Well, you just keep making that run, and you're having success running the football. Immediately when he checked in, eventually they're going to go to it. Just keep an eye on 85 right here as he kind of works his way underneath all the traffic right here. Let everything sort itself out. He gets nice and flat, and Worley times it just right to put the football on him.
Point after is up and good, and Tennessee has put 51, make it 52 on the board after 45 points last week. Balls are rolling. Back in a moment. Today's SEC game is brought to you by BMW. We only make one thing, the ultimate driving machine. Regions Bank, Regions official bank of the SEC. And by Honda Generators. Enter the Honda Generators tailgate giveaway for your chance to win a new Honda generator. Back inside Neyland Stadium, Dave Neal, Andre Ware, Kara Capuano, 9:56 to go in this one. Tennessee now has opened up a 32-point lead over the Hilltoppers.
You might want to save some of these points for next week.
They got a team that likes to score a little bit coming up.
They're going to have to match some scores when they go to Oregon.
Yeah, the road gets very, very difficult for Tennessee after this one. Velarde, well, he's going to need to ice down after this one. He has been a busy man, punting, kicking, extra points, field goals.
Well, if they get 7 turnovers, I think they could be in that ball game. 7 freebies.
Well, this Tennessee team certainly were given some opportunities to score. And the good news for Tennessee fans is, A, you got some turnovers from a secondary that was so young, and then you took advantage of them.
And then they started running the football. Turn it over to the big offensive line, put it in there, hand it off, then show it and get it to the tight end for a touchdown. That's some good stuff. That's how it works, though. You want to be able, as a head coach, late in the ball game, to feed the offensive line where they take over and just rule the line of scrimmage.
And you got to hold on to it. I mean, that's the whole thing. Tennessee's done a nice job of that today, and Western Kentucky hasn't. It's as simple as that. Hilltoppers have moved it fairly well today. They have almost 400 yards of offense. Bobbled snap for DeMarcus Smith, who now comes in at quarterback. DeMarcus, the redshirt freshman out of Louisville, Kentucky. A little bit different quarterback for Jeff Brom and Bobby Petrino to work with.
Got a live arm, a strong arm. He's just got to learn to control it. Redshirt freshman, as you mentioned, but he can throw it. He's just got to learn to throw it with a little bit of touch and develop a little bit more accuracy.
.6'1", 210-pounder out of Louisville, Kentucky. Will work out of the shotgun. He will hand it off to Andrews over the left side. He will get to the 28-yard line, a 5-yard pickup for the senior. Andrews, I'm just impressed with this young man. There's so much to like about him. A senior, got a Fort Campbell, Kentucky. You know, he's one of those guys. I asked Bobby Petrino to describe him for me. He says, you know, he's one of these, he's a military kid that comes from a good family, very much a team guy, great ball skills, and a guy that is a great teammate. And I think that's a compliment, the best compliment you could probably give to anybody.
I just think he deserved the benefit of the doubt earlier in this ball game, because he's such a weapon that even when he put the ball on the ground, I think you come right back to him and you don't sit him for as long as he was on the bench.
Smith will pick up the first down. He is pushed out of bounds by Jordan Williams to the 42-yard line. That is a 14-yard pickup.
Nice run there by DeMarcus Smith.
You know, we talked a little bit about this. When you look at this matchup, you look at Bobby Petrino's a master at picking on teams and their weaknesses, really exposing him. And we came into this when we knew the secondary of Tennessee, not the most experienced group. And I'll tell you what, this secondary held up pretty good today.
When you look at it,
Smith is trying to find anywhere to go with the football. Tennessee chasing him down, only about give him a 2.5-yard pickup.
Well, you look at it in terms of total yards in Western Kentucky's ability to move the football. He did just that. He can formation you. He's got great schemes, and he can get the matchup he wants with motions and formations. It's just when you turn the ball over 7 times, that is tough to overcome. And they were in a lucky place right before halftime when they were down just 2 scores. Could ill afford to allow Tennessee to come out, take the opening drive, and go down and score, and then you have to punt it away. That was where I think it spelled doom for Western Kentucky.
Flags are down. False start by Petrino over there. Not happy with that.
Snap, false start. Offense 60. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Today's 1st and 10 line brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 7 penalties today against Western Kentucky, matching their turnover total.
Western Kentucky will see South Alabama next week, then Morgan State and Navy to follow. So they can get themselves righted relatively fast.
Loose football, and Smith will fall on it. It will belong to the Hilltoppers, but a loss of 8, maybe 9 on the play. That'll go down as a sack. 3rd one today by this Tennessee defense.
I think Marcus Smith may be playing a little faster than he needs to. Just settle in. Hadn't had a lot of game snaps, and just got to slow down a little bit.
They'll take the sack off the board.
That's why I didn't do all that running around. You get tired. It's hard to think.
Throw it. Right? Yeah. Just like that. A little underthrown, bounced in the air. Did I hear a whistle? I believe I did. Byron Moore came away with the football. So now it's 4th down, and Western Kentucky will have to punt.
Yeah, last week, Nathan Peterman, the backup quarterback to Justin Worley, he got the bulk of the work in the second half of that ball game last week against Austin Peay. I'm wondering if today he doesn't get to go in now. Here with about 6:40 left, maybe see him the rest of the way.
Hendricks break field to punt. Jacob Carter fair catch at the 31-yard line. 37-yard punt, no return. And a new quarterback, Nathan Peterman, to take the field when we return to Knoxville.
BC looked solid last night against Wake. 2-0 Steve Addazio, who was a coordinator at Florida for a while. He's done a nice job there this season.
Anthony Summerhill on that carry. Flags all over the field. Summerhill, a junior out of Tuscumbia, Alabama. Nathan Peterman in at quarterback. Nathan played the entire second half last week.
Personal foul, face mask, 1 defense, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, automatic first down.
Don't forget, the most storied conference in college athletics will live on a new network as tradition has found a new home. The SEC Network will launch in August of 2014. For more information, go to getsecnetwork.com. Peterman last week, 4 of 8, 28 yards, no TDs, no interceptions. Redshirt freshman out of Fruit Cove, Florida. Hand off to the Anthony Summerhill. He'll pick up 5 yards.
Yeah, he had 9 carries last week for 67 yards, and that's about almost 7.5 yards a clip. Another talented young player.
See the particulars on Peterman, but at the end of the day, Worley goes 11 of 19, 142 yards, a touchdown and a pick. Tennessee keeps it on the ground, a gain of 3 for Summerhill. All told in this game, Tennessee has 344 yards of offense. Western Kentucky up at 393. Tennessee at 202 yards rushing. And you hit on it earlier, Andre. It's a whole nother ball game.
Yeah, going forward, the road changes. It's a little bumpier. At Oregon, at Florida, 2 road games before you see South Alabama.
First down.
They might have one of the toughest schedules in the country, because you have Georgia after South Alabama. Then South Carolina, at Alabama. Missouri, I talked about, was going to be a much better team. Auburn, Vanderbilt, and then, of course, the final game against Kentucky. That's as brutal as it gets.
Yeah, that stretch there. Only South Alabama breaks up Oregon, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, at Missouri. I mean, just look at it. Just get a visual of this coming up when you think about what's in store. Only that South Alabama game breaks up that stretch starting next week at Oregon.
Look at that, all the bunch of teams in the top 15. Number 2 Oregon, number 11 South Florida, 12 Georgia, number 6 South Carolina, and the best team in the country in Alabama. That's tough.
Summerhill will fall forward inside the 25, and they'll spot it at the 24. You know, it's one of those things. It's all about building blocks.
Yeah.
And Butch Jones, and you can tell, I mean, he knows it's going to be tough. He's gone out. He's got the 3rd best recruiting class in the country already. Looking ahead to the future, and we talked to him about recruiting, and he says one of the great things we have here is we are a family. A lot of people talk about it, but we are. All of our coaches have either coached under or played for or been around on the same team. And Summerhill inside the 20, and he says, we're talking to him in his office, he says, just look around. Look around at what we have to sell here with our athletic facilities.
No reason that this program should have been in the condition it's been in the last 4 years. And he comes in, he realizes he has all the resources to really get this thing back on track and create a new winning environment, because it used to be that way here at Tennessee.
A look at some of the shots from we picked up this week from Anderson's training facility that 145,000 square feet, cost $45 million to build, amphitheater-style team room.
Look at that weight room.
I mean, incredible. 22,000 square foot multi-level weight room. That might even get me to work out.
That'll get a few recruits in here, I promise you. And then he also talked about, Dave, you know, a lot of kids can go to programs that are already going, and I tell you what, it sold me when I committed to the University of Houston. They'd gone 1-10. And I think there's something special about being there and being a part of it when it takes the upswing and you help to get or resurrect the program to where it's going back in the right direction. That's one of the messages that he's passing on to this recruiting class for 2014 and beyond. Come in, help restore the proud legacy that this program once had.
Well, Butch Jones said last week there wasn't a whole lot of great tape to kind of analyze and figure out what kind of team he had. He felt like today is a much better barometer of where they are as a football team. Where, if you could put yourself in his mind, what do you think he's thinking about his group? Well,
I tell you what, he's thinking that he created some turnovers today. They scored, which is what you have to do, and they put themselves in a good position here today, up 52-20 with just 53 seconds left here in the fourth quarter.
So Tennessee with just a few seconds left in this one, trying to close it out. They look at 2nd and goal from the 5. He will hand it off to Summerhill, and he is stopped short. And that'll do it for this one. Western Kentucky just couldn't hold on to the football. Tennessee made him pay. When you're given opportunities, you got to take advantage, and that's exactly what Tennessee did today. Butch Jones goes to 2-0, and Bobby Petrino and his Hilltoppers will fall to 1-1. So his little 2-game run through the SEC ends at 500. Good day for Tennessee, though. Confidence boost for a lot of these guys as they put up 52 on a pretty good Western Kentucky football team. Our final score, 52-20. We'll come back, put a wrap on things from Knoxville. Tennessee, a big winner today. They go 2-0 on the year. Happy Tennessee players. They go to 2-0 on the year with a 52-20 win over the Hilltoppers. Outstanding performance today by Tennessee with 7 turnovers. And, well, basically, let's give the Tennessee defense our award today. They exhibited the right stuff as they are players of the game. Brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low prices every day. The 7 takeaways in this one. And Andre, what they did with it, they made them pay. I mean, that's one thing to
have the turnovers. It's another to put points on the board. And I know you had the 2 pick sixes, and then they got 14 points on fumble recoveries as well. And then Brendan Dowdy just continued to turn the ball over for Western Kentucky, put them in a hole, and they just could not dig themselves out of.
All right, we'll come back. 52-20, Tennessee, a winner.